I'd wait forever, honey, for one more minute with you. I'd spend all my money to spend more time with you. It may sound a little bit funny, there's no one else like you, say that you do. I was on the long road running and found my way to you. From driving rain to sunny, we made it through. They might say we were a little bit funny, but they're not in our shoes, say that you do.
So, I'm really excited to make this video because I'm really excited to be at the place that I am. I honestly can't talk very well right now because I have just been doing so much hiking in the hot weather. Next week we're supposed to get... Alright, I know what you're thinking. This vlog is going to be amazing. Sarah's in a really cool place, which I was in an amazing place. But let me tell you, I messed up so hardcore on all of my filming. It was not my fault though. I'm just going to say that the horseflies out in this area I was not prepared for. I know what horseflies are. I kept thinking that these were some sort of wasp, but I was pretty much eaten alive and those horseflies made me cut my time in half there. So I still got some content. I still got a little bit of the tugging bits, still got some B-roll. Definitely not enough to put together a full vlog. So I'm going to jump in here in the middle like this, Sarah from the future, hi, and explain a bit about the sand dunes. Okay, so these sand hills, they're called the Great Sand Hills of Saskatchewan. As you can tell by the name, they are found in Saskatchewan. I'm not really going to tell you exactly where they are because they're honestly just in the middle of nowhere in my opinion, but they are approximately 20 kilometers south of a town called Sceptre. You can just Google it, Great Sandhills in Saskatchewan, and you will get the GPS coordinates and it'll take you right there. I guess my only tip is that this place is again in the middle of nowhere. It's around, there's a few smaller towns that are around it, but every time I've been through, the gas stations have never been open, the stores have never been open. So if you go there, make sure you have food, water, and a full tank of gas, because I have gone out there once before and ran out of gas because I just was naive and thought that the gas stations would be open. So, lesson learned. Go out there prepared. Do not rely on the little towns that are in the area. So the sandhills are 1,900 square kilometers of active sand dunes. It is surrounded by a lot of foliage, like trees, some grasslands. It's really cool. When you first get there to the parking area, you have to park in the parking area. You can't stop anywhere else. So you keep that in mind. You cannot stop on the side of the road leading into the sand dunes. 6 kilometers is like you're driving on sand. You can't stop there. So get to the parking lot. As soon as you get to the parking lot, you'll see some sand dunes that are immediately in front of you. If you don't have a lot of time, just go to these ones and check it out. But the cool sand dunes are to the left. There is a trail. It goes up a little bit and then it's probably about 2 kilometers, maybe 1 kilometer or 2 to the dunes. I felt that it took a really long time to walk there, but it was also super hot, so probably just felt a lot longer to me. So when you start this little journey to the dunes, you first will hit this area that has this shrine. It's this cowboy boot shrine, and lots of people take photos of it. It's pretty cool, it's pretty unique, and I'm going to tell you the backstory behind it. This was built by a man named John Both. It's either Both or Booth. I'm not quite sure if I'm saying his name right, but his name is John. So he was basically, he lived in the area all his life, and he had a ranch and he had horses. His favorite horse was named Smokey, and he was the caretaker of the sandhills. So I'm not sure when he built this shrine, but he basically built it because it's all his cowboy boots, and it is the cowboys' way of showing their appreciation and love for life. And his ashes are actually in the same area by this little shrine. So it's pretty cool to see this man's work is still standing and still iconic to the area. So when you get to that, take a few pictures and then you carry on down the trail to the sand dunes. And it's just basically a big open area of rolling dunes like this. I'm sure you guys have been to sand dunes before. It's just so cool that it's in Saskatchewan, in Canada. I think that's what's so unique about it. So if you are ever in the area, which I'm not quite sure what you would be doing in that area out there, you're basically taking a trip just for these sand dunes. So I'm speaking to photographers. If you do take a trip out there, maybe spend a couple of days, it's so worth it. It is so cool. And go in the summertime, because I believe that the road leading out there, if you're in the off season and it rains or it's snowy, you'll get stuck in the mud. I'm sure some of you live in the prairies, and I'm not that knowledgeable about this, but when I used to live in Saskatchewan, I remember this one grid road that would rain a lot and you could not drive on it because it was so muddy. I think that this road is very, very similar. I spent most of the time battling this flies, but I did manage to get some content. I do have, I got a lot of photos. It was way easier to take photos than it was to film. But I do have a chunk where I'm done filming and I explain kind of my composition and all that stuff, so I'm going to share that again, but I just needed to jump in here and explain the dunes to you guys. Okay, so whatever these sorts of insects are, they're like almost like sand wasps. I don't know, they're like little bees. They sting. It really, really hurts. And they seem to be closer to the areas where there's more grass, because there's like grasslands that surround these sand hills. So I'm having a really, really tough time filming. I'm not having a tough time photographing because I'm doing that. I just did a self-portrait. I wanted to explain the whole thing, but those wasps or bees were swarming me. I had to get out of there. Of course, I left my bug spray in the car. I don't even think if bug spray would help at this point. Anyways, these sand hills are full on. It's such a workout doing this. I'm sure you can see I'm sweaty, I'm hot, I am being eaten by these bugs, but I'm having the best time. I'm so happy that I'm out here. I did just do a self-portrait. I was actually way up over there, so I was playing around with some side light. I think I got a pretty good shot. I had my white dress on, but I had to change out of it really quickly because of these wasps. And then I came back down. Right now I'm down at the base, and I'm going to continue shooting here. You can't see it, but there's some really, really crazy light rays going on behind me. I'm set up at the same composition I was when I first got here. Oh man, look at that light. It's gorgeous. Let's see if I can block it with my head. So I'm set up at the same spot where I originally got to the sand hills. It's really, really cool. There's an awesome S-curve composition that leads up into the sun. It's gorgeous. And I was waiting a little bit for the sun to go down so I could line it up with this leading line. And we got some cool light rays. There's light rays coming out all over the clouds. As you can see, it keeps getting brighter and brighter. I am shooting at f/16 so I can get that sun star, and I'm going to do a long exposure at the same time. I'm done my self-portrait, so I'm not going to do that anymore. I just don't have any more time to change or anything. Really happy with how the self-portrait turned out. The light was quite harsh, but I don't care. It's beautiful. It's like the sand is this nice golden orange and beautiful blue sky with white fluffy clouds and a white dress. Looks gorgeous. So excited to be out here. I didn't bring enough water. I don't know why I didn't come prepared today. Like, I do this all the time. You would think I would know better. Oh well, at least I'm getting a workout and I'm getting some shooting in. So the settings that I am shooting at, and I usually always shoot at this, is either f11. As the sun goes down, I'll start shooting at f11. Right now I'm shooting at f16 so I can get longer shutter speeds with my 10 stop. And I'm doing some vertical and some horizontals. So definitely working the lines that are all around here, all around the sandhills. They're beautiful patterns. And I've also been doing some intimate scenes, zooming in just on the sand and really playing with the light and the squiggly lines of the sands. I'm having a great time. Absolutely love it out here. You guys should definitely check it out. It's so far out of the way that it's not busy at all. I'm the only one here. I'm the only one that's been here all night, which is awesome. So it's not an overpopulated place. I do not foresee it ever becoming an overpopulated place because it's just too far out, and it's in the prairies. There's not much else out here. But if you're around the area, I highly suggest coming out here to photograph. It is the coolest place. sandhills, I'm going to share the self-portrait with you and talk about it because this is my favorite image from the trip. I am pretty happy with the light. I wanted to wait a little bit longer until sunset, but that didn't happen because of the flies. So I'm pretty happy with this. I know the light's a little bit harsh, but I think it works well. My plan was definitely to have that side light because I love the depth that side light creates. And I love how the light shines on me, and I think that it really accentuates like the dress and my hair. That's probably my favorite part about this image, and the foreground, obviously the sand in the foreground. I did pair this with a long exposure sky. It was pretty easy to blend that in because there's no messy trees in the horizon to Photoshop around, which is always really annoying. What I don't like about this image, there's two things in particular that I do not like. And I wish, if I had more time, I wish that I would have kind of shot around this or figured it out better. So I don't like the shadow in the middle of the frame. It is actually just where the sand dune kind of dips. It's actually a little bit of a hill, so that's a shadow. I do prefer that I worked around it, but I didn't really notice it until I was editing, so I do find that a bit distracting. And then I wish that I was just closer to the camera so you could see more of like the subject with the dress, because I think the dress works really well with the sand here. So just me a little bit closer and then maybe moving around or waiting for different light to kind of avoid that shadow that is in the middle. Otherwise, I'm actually pretty happy with how this image turned out. I shot one vertical and I did shoot another one horizontal. I just have not edited that horizontal one. Anyways, I'm going to share some more images from the dunes with you at the end of the video. Like always, I'm also going to add in some other shots of just other work that I've been doing. Family shoots, I went to Waterton, just anything. I honestly can't remember what I've been shooting. Oh, I shot a wedding. So there's some miscellaneous shots that I'm going to share in here. I really hope that you guys like this video. Please subscribe because it helps me out, and give it a thumbs up to help me push through the algorithm. I will see you guys again in the next one. Thank you for all your support about me going full time. I really appreciate it. Talk to you again soon. Bye.
Stray from you for all our lives to the end of time.